Let's talk about Nique really quick, because Kayla, you and I have been like begging Nique, like when is that breakout gonna? We've been asking for two things. When's the breakout game?
Sure.
And we thought like maybe the Detroit Pistons game in Detroit was kind of that, but it was a good game, but it wasn't a breakout game. When's the breakout game coming, where we knew like things are just going to start happening for Nique? And then two, when is he going to be able to string good performances together? He played well against the Clippers.
Yeah.
And then he drops 30 the next night against the Cavs in a game where he only almost played 40 minutes, Kayla. Like that, I know you and I were both really enjoying watching that.
I know. By the way, happy birthday, Nique Clifford.
Happy birthday.
Happy 24th birthday, I believe it is.
I think so.
And he was the 24th. Was he the 24th overall
pick?
Yeah,
24th pick.
So a special birthday. In all seriousness, though, I am really rooting for Nique Clifford. I've loved him ever since he got drafted, and I got to watch a little bit of him in summer league, and just fell in love with his game, just in terms of being a versatile player. And I think in the beginning I was a little unsure of what Nique was, because there was just inconsistent minutes. And the moment that he started to get that time and build his confidence and actually know, like, sometimes I can be the centerpiece of this offense, is when he really started to, like, take control.
Yeah.
And you saw it especially in that Cavs game, because he just was doing everything right, it seemed like. And he got everybody going, and it really seemed at that time like, oh, that's a first-round pick right there. Mm-hmm. And I get it. Like, again, you're playing a different situation with younger guys around you. Nothing really, like, saying, like, hey, this is going to mean a lot. But it does to them. Like, they want to win.
Sure.
And it means a lot in terms of their development, which they know as well.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was great for him to have a breakout game where he was actually like shooting the ball well, playing defense well, and seemed to be like the star.
Yeah, and he's getting more comfortable too as what Doug is calling a secondary ball handler. He's not a true point guard, but they're having him run and kind of facilitate the offense a little bit more.
Exactly.
And he's looking more comfortable. He just looks more comfortable in general. Like 5 of 9 from 3-point range, that 3-point shot finally dropping for him. Same thing with Devin Carter, too. Devin's been bricking from 3, and he finally got some to drop. We'll talk about Devin in just a second. But it's not just like, look, we know Nique's not going to score 30 minutes a game.
No. That's
the Kings
exactly.
If the Kings can get 12 to 15 a game from him off the bench, like that's probably ceiling. That's probably like this is really good. But what I liked about this game, Kayla, was it wasn't just that he was scoring, he was doing his other things, right? 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Like what Nique was labeled as coming into the league was like this Swiss Army knife, right?
Yeah,
like he's a guy that can do a lot of things really, really well. Now you need to have a elite thing probably to keep you in the NBA, and we're still waiting to see what that is consistently.
What right now would it be for you? And I know there's not a big sample size, but I'm just curious.
I think it's his defense, and it's because I think he moves his feet really, really well defensively. He has the wingspan, and I think he has the nose to defend. He's not like a lockdown, shutdown defender, but like Keegan Murray made a huge jump as a defender between year 1 and year 2. Like, why can't Nique do that, but just for like guards? Yep. To me, that's like Nique has that potential.
That's fair.
But you also need some offense from him, and he finally showed off that offense.
That was brilliant to see, just because, again, we've seen bits and pieces of Nique in terms of the offense, but he's never gotten into a complete flow. And not only that, because we saw that in the Cleveland game, but you mentioned we saw it maybe more so in back-to-back games. And that's what we've been calling for on this show, because we wanted to see a little bit more him being persistent game to game. Mm-hmm. And again, this is another one tonight. Now you're on the road. Again, the Kings have not played well on the road. Mm-hmm. Let's see how, you can build off of this performance and carry it on the road. Like, these are the small building blocks we need to see from some of these guys.
Right. And can you continue to string good games together? Again, I'm not expecting 30 points from Nique tonight.
No, that's...
Although if he does...
I mean, then we're going to be even more happy.
I'll be all about that. But it was funny, on this show, going back to a couple of weeks ago, Kayla, we were talking about, like, Devin Carter's never going to get an opportunity ever, I guess. Because there were games where it's like,
that's what I thought.
Guys were hurt, and he still wasn't getting in. And now Devin Carter's getting an opportunity. He's played a decent chunk of these last 3 games. Kayla, he's playing really well. He's playing like a lottery pick that can impact the team. Not anybody that we're like, he's a savior, he's a starter, blah, 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 blah. But he is playing like an NBA player. and starting to at least I'm starting to see the question amongst Kings fans, like, could there be a future of Devin Carter in Sacramento?
Look, it's a question that can't be ignored. And I say that because everybody has their opinions maybe on Devin Carter up to this point. Like, well, he didn't play until now. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, obviously, they're just trying to see what they have. And yeah, rightfully so. They've got to try to see what they have because he is a former first-round pick. Whether you like it or not or you agree with it or not, I think it would be not great on the management to not put him out there or at least try to test to see what they could have in him if they do before deciding what the future is for him.
Right.
And to his credit, who he sat on the bench majority of the season, I don't think he looked like he was pouting or whatever. Once he got on, it's like he picked up from maybe like not where he left off because he hasn't played a lot as the Sacramento King, but the point that I'm trying to make is he didn't let sitting on the bench get to him.
Sure.
Because he has, for the most part, done what he has been asked to do out there when he's been given the minutes. But this was a breakout game for him this season, for sure.
Yeah, Devin is the attitude-wise, the epitome of at least how he's approached these games of what I want from the Kings rookies, which is I have an opportunity, I'm going to be fearless, I'm going to try some things.
I don't know how he is as a teammate, Matt, because, again, I just got here and I've heard some rumblings from people that maybe he's not.
I've heard the same things.
But I don't know that. I'm not going to say that because I don't know Devin personally. I've not covered him personally.
Right.
But from what I've seen on the court, like he has that win mentality, at least when he is doing things, and he plays really hard.
Yeah, he played 27 minutes off the bench, scored 18 points, which is a career high, 6 of 13 from the field, 2 of 5 from three-point range, thankfully. He was 0 of 13 from 3 until he finally knocked down some threes. You're like, oh, thank you.
I know.
Good. I'm sure there's a sigh of relief on his in his mind too. But also 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, a block. Like he was impactful in multiple ways, which is what the Kings kind of hoped they had in him when they drafted him, is this kind of Tasmanian devil guard that they could release. And now, while I wouldn't call Devin Carter a true point guard, that's kind of the position that he's been playing off of the bench. Yeah. Sometimes he's handling the ball. A lot of times he's not because Nique is or somebody else is out there with him. Russ, somebody else handling the basketball. I don't know. Like, I was trying to answer this question and I couldn't come up with a realistic answer of what can Devin do or what does Devin have to do consistently, realistically for the rest of the season to change minds in the organization that maybe he can be part of what they're doing going forward. Because I don't think he's really ever going to be looked at as a true point guard option there. And the 2 guard spot is already competitive enough. We don't know if Malik Monk's still going to be here. DeMar DeRozan probably still here. Zach LaVine probably still here. Oh, not to mention if Darren Peterson walks through that door. Like, so what is it like? Devin's been consistently pretty solid over these last 3 games. Does he have to just all of a sudden break out like a superstar out of nowhere? And is that even realistic for him to get consideration as part of the future for the Kings? Or the Kings just hoping he plays well so they can ship him off this summer?
Well, that was my question. Like, what, again, these are questions further along the line we'll be able to ask a guy like Scott Perry. But, you know, right now he's getting the time to at least get him out there, and whether that's to evaluate if he could be a fit here or, like you said, it's not hurting him right now. It's not hurting the Kings because there are situations where people are probably looking at him as a former first round and say, oh, he's actually doing some stuff here. So I don't think they can lose in this situation as long as he's playing. And when some of these guys come back from the health issues, which I don't know if that will ever be fully this year.
My pinky hurts.
My pinky hurts. My toe hurts. That's the only thing I could see him going back to the bench for. But I don't think it's hurting the Kings to at least get him out there, whether that's because you want to keep him because you actually like what he does, or you get his value up to do something with him.
If I were to try and answer your question, Matt, about like what it would take, I've kind of felt like throughout most of the season, the way that they've gone about Devin Carter's development and lack thereof just seems like they just don't believe in him as a player.
I agree.
So I guess to rephrase the question of what would it take for them to consider him to be part of the long-term future, I guess is what would it take for them to believe in Devin Carter again? And I feel like that's going to be more off the court stuff than maybe on the court stuff. I mean, the on the court stuff could help, but if Daquan Plowden is starting over you in the lineup, like what are we doing at that point? And I get they play slightly different positions and all that stuff, but like I just don't really see a path forward based on their previous decision making around Devin Carter, because all he's needed is playing time.
So you're saying he's pretty much playing because they want to just get him out there and
see what you have, or show somebody else, maybe.
Because if they kind of know what they have in terms of not fitting the 6 pillars, in terms of some of the off whatever. Again, this is hard for me to talk about because I have not heard this stuff. Like maybe we need to sit down like after the show and like at one point like say this is because I don't know any of this stuff. You know,
I also don't really either, but all of their decision making would indicate that for whatever their reasons are, they just don't believe in Devin Carter. And it can't just be that he can't shoot 3-pointers, right? That can't be the only reason why they don't believe in him.
Regardless, he's not Scott Perry's guy. Like Daquan Plowden, even though I don't think Daquan Plowden has a massive part of Scott Perry's future, Scott was responsible for him being at least on the G League roster or like as like available.
It's fair.
And he inherited like Devin is one of the guys he inherited. Now, I, like everybody else, believes, hey, you've got this former lottery pick here. You can't just ignore him. And I do believe that the Kings, like they picked up his option for next year at $5.1 million next year already. So he's under contract for next year. So they might try and use him as a sweetener or to a little extra money on top to make a trade work, although I don't know how many teams right now are lining up to trade for Devin Carter. But maybe he can change some of that reputation around the league. Which, guys, by the way, this is crazy. Did you know that on Saturday night, with all the guys that were out, all the guys that were hurt, Devin Carter was the second highest paid King available? It was DeMar DeRozan.
That's wild.
And then Devin Carter. Because Russell Westbrook makes like $4 million or something like that. Right. Devin Carter's 4.9.
That is why, because he was a former first rounder.
Right. Everybody else available
what an interesting
made
stat.
less money than Devin Carter. Isn't that crazy?
I hadn't even thought about that. Precious, that's a minimum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maxime, rookie deal. Dylan, rookie deal.
Yep. And Devin's got a better rookie deal than any of the other rookies because Devin was the lottery pick.
The one last note on that, too, is so before next season starts, I guess it's technically Halloween of next year, they have to pick up or decline his 4th-year option, which is about $7.3 million. They will, in all likelihood, decline that option, which when they do that, then he just becomes a trade chip because it's the same thing as the Jake LaRavia situation where a team can't sign him for more than X number of dollars. So I think to your point, building up his value is to convince someone to trade for him before that October 31st team option deadline. Because once they decline it, he's essentially an expiring contract.
Yeah, I think the Kings are going to try hard to
Right now it's going well.
Well, it is. I think the Kings are going to try very hard to try and trade him this summer.
Sure. But
get in line. Like I think there's a bunch of guys on this roster that they're going to try really hard to trade this summer. Also, we didn't get to talk about them too much, but really quick shout out to both Dylan Cardwell, second straight double-double. He's been playing really well. Did you see the video of him blaming me going to Disneyland and then coming back for? Did you see that video?
No.
We'll play the audio for you when we come back.
Okay, because I saw him doing football stances coming off the plane, which I thought was incredible.
I love Dylan to death, and I've been able to create a little bit of a kind of a bantery relationship with Dylan.
But we haven't even had him on the show. What are we doing here? We got to get him on the show.
Trust me. We're working on it. We are working on getting...
All right, someone who hears this, we got to have him on the show.
We're working on it. It's a work in progress. But Dylan played well, second straight double-double. Max has been doing good things. Max has been doing well defensively. He's starting to use his wingspan to get deflections, play those passing lanes. He had back-to-back games with 2 steals, which is really solid for Max. And then Daquan Plowden, first career start. I thought he played really well.
Played well and looked confident out there.
So shout out to those guys.